let the truth ignite. From the streets to the speakers, we shine light so bright. Gather round, let's vibe. We connect to the core. Yeah, that's what this song is also.
Welcome to the public mic. And in this episode, we are going to talk about a man who stood for the right and democracy of the country. In this story, we talk about one of the most famous and influential leader, Raila Amolo Odinga. To many, he was simply known as Baba, meaning father. Some call him Nyundo, Agwambo, Tinga, Wonpin. A man who spent his entire life fighting for democracy, justice, and the right of the common people. My name is Masco, and this is the public mic.
Welcome to the public mic. Let the truth ignite. From the streets to the speakers, we shine light so bright. Gather round, let's vibe. We connect to the core. Yeah, that's what this song is.
Raila Amolo Odinga was born on January 7, 1945, in Maseno, Kisumu County, in Kenya. He was the son of the Ramogi Oginga Odinga, Kenya's first vice president, and Mary Ajuma Odinga. Growing up in a political family, Raila learned early about leadership and public service. He attended Maranda High School and later moved to East Germany, where he studied mechanical engineering at the Technical University of Medberg. He returned to Kenya in the early 1970s as a trained engineer ready to serve his country, Kenya. Many of the people say Raila is a welder. Neither they don't know what mechanical engineer entails, though welding is also part of it. But let me break it down for you what Raila did in Germany as a professional skill. Since Raila Odinga's specialization was in welding and metal construction, a branch of mechanical and industrial engineering, the service and production related to that field generally include designing, fabricating, maintaining, and testing metal structure and machinery. The services along Raila's skills. One is metal fabrication and welding. This entails building and assembling metal parts or structures like frames, tanks, and pipes. Offering industrial welding for construction, manufacturing, and machinery repair. This is also part of what he did. Number 2, mechanical design and drafting. This includes creating blueprints for machines, tools, and industrial systems. Designing components for manufacturing and heavy equipments. This is like structures of tractors, engines, and many more. Machine maintenance and repair. This entails servicing industrial machines, broilers, and factory systems. So people need to know in detail what Raila did, because most of the people always say he is a welder. This is a professional course and is very deep and also inclusive of robotics. Also ensuring smooth operations of production and equipment. Next, we have industrial quality control, testing and inspecting materials and products to ensure they meet technical standards. Also setting up safety and performance standards in factories. All this I'm reading for you, this is what Raila Odinga studied. Number 5, we have project installation and supervision. This include installing heavy industrial machinery or mechanical system in factories. Maybe you go to the factories and you see mechanical robotics, and also you see machines that are in operation in companies. These are some of the things that are in line with mechanical engineering. The next, we have training and consultancy. Raila Odinga was also a trainer and a consultant, also teaching or advising industries on metal fabrication, welding, and manufacturing standards. This is what Raila did when he lectured and later worked at Kenya Bureau of Standards. So what are the products that are in line with what Raila studied? These include metal structures, frames, tanks, bridges, gates, industrial supports. Number 2, we have machinery parts, gears, shafts, pipes, machines, hosing, and engines. Next, we have boilers, pressure vessels. These include used factories and energy plants. Also fabricated equipments. I think also this is in line with mechanical engineering. This also is in line with tailors' steel doors, ladders. This is where now welding comes in, and containers. We also have industrial tools like clamps, machines, and components. So in simple terms, Raila's mechanical engineering sector dealt with building and maintaining machines and metal structures. So when people say Raila is a welder, so welding is a very wider industry, whereby also he was dealing with metals when it comes to fabricating metals, also molding metals into something that would create something that would be useful. Today, mechanical engineering includes robotics, and after robotics, that is where somebody does software engineering. So when you see the cars that you see on the road moving, those are mechanical engineering. When you see the tractors, the heavy commercial tractors, those are mechanical engineering. Today, people are doing mechanical engineering, then again do software engineering to make robotics and to make the movement of robotics in action. Like for example, if you want to make a drone, that is a mechanical engineering. For the drone to operate, you have to do software engineering. So that is what is mechanical engineering line. That is one line of mechanical engineering. And what Raila did was building and maintaining machines and metal structures, and also manufacturing and industrial productions. That was Raila Amolo Odinga, also known as Baba. Raila Odinga has earned several political names, nicknames, and titles throughout his long career in Kenyan politics. Many given him by supporters, opponents, and the media. He has garnered so many names since his time in politics. Some of the official names that most of the people know. We have Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. This was used from his time as Prime Minister, 2008 to 2013. Then we have former Prime Minister of Kenya, title held after the 2007 to 2008 post-election power sharing agreement between him and President Kibaki. Then next we have party leader, Orange Democratic Movement, that is ODM, the main opposition political party in Kenya and the oldest political party in Kenya. Then he is also called president candidate. Has run for presidential multiple times since 1997, 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022 as a candidate in the presidential seat. But out of all this, we also have some of the political popular names, and these are some of the nicknames that we know. So let us start with Baba. What is the meaning of Baba? Why was he given the name Baba? This means father in Swahili, a term of respect and affection from supporters, recognizing Raila as the father of the nation's democracy. Next, we have Agwambo. Agwambo is a Luo name, meaning the mysterious one or the unpredictable one, highlighting his surprising political comeback and influence during politics when people thought that he was off politics. Raila could come back as a fresh candidate with new ideas. Next, we have Tinga, from bulldozers, symbolizing a strong political drive and persistency. Also, his early campaigns, symbols in the National Development Party, NDP. The next one we have Jacom. This is also a Luo name, also representing the name chairman, referring to the leadership of opposition in ODM and the opposition leader, since he has been the chair of ODM for long and leading ODM party very straight and wisely. Then next we have Baba wa Taifa, father of the nation, used by admirers to emphasize his long fight for democracy and justice. Do you remember when Raila was called Joshua? Also, a name that has been used mostly. It's a biblical nickname comparing him to Joshua, who led Israelites to the promised land, symbolizing Raila's leading Kenyans to Canaan. So, these are the names and their meanings as Raila's journey during his political time. This name could change with the way Raila could come back with his politics. That's why he was called Agwambo, Tinga, Jacom, Baba. So, All these names he got from occasions where he could come back. He became lastly Baba before his death. So these are the nicknames of Raila Amolo Odinga. When Raila returned to Kenya in the early 1970s, he came back not as a politician, but as an engineer. He joined the University of Nairobi as a lecturer in mechanical engineering, teaching young minds how to create and design. Later, he moved to the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, where he worked on improving the quality of products made in Kenya. He ensured that factories, machines, and industries' materials met world standards. Raila's life revolved around welding sparks, blueprints, and the dream of a strong industry in Kenya. His sector, welding and metal construction, produced products like tanks, frames, pipes, and industrial tools. It offered several services in metal fabrication, machine repair, and industrial quality controls, the very foundation of any growing nation. At that point, Raila was building Kenya, not politically but physically. So when Raila came to Kenya from Germany, Raila was a trainer, a teacher, and a lecturer of mechanical engineering. From metalworks to the movement, from the class to the streets. Beneath the clang of metal, a new fire was rising. Kenya was under a one-party system, and voices calling for democracy were being silenced, killed, abducted. Raila, inspired by his father's courage, began to speak out. His involvement in underground movement calling for multi-party democracy led to several arrests and detentions in the 1980s. He spent years behind bars, but even in prison, but he refused to bend for Moi's laws. His time in detention changed him from an engineer to a reformer, from shaping metals to shaping a nation density. Raila Amolo Odinga. To his supporters, he is Baba, a father figure of change, resilience, and hope. To others, he is relentless challenger, never afraid to stand against injustice. He has run for president multiple times, winning hearts even when he didn't win the seat. Through victories, defeats, Raila Odinga has remained a symbol of resistance, reform, and resilience. He taught Kenyans that leadership is not only about position, but about persistence. He forgave those who did injustice to him and to the nation. He forgave Moi. He forgave Kibaki after all the injustices. Truly, Baba was a senior. Baba was a wise man. Baba was a king. Raila's journey shows that every skill, even engineering, can build a nation. The same mind that once welded metal, welded people's dreams together. From the workshops of Medbach to the streets of Nairobi, his life tells us that no matter where you start, discipline and vision can transform society. A society that is disciplined and visionary can make the people transform. He worked with everyone, forgiving every person who wronged him. The pain that was given onto his body, he forgave. The torture behind bars, the jail, Raila forgave, and later worked with his enemies as friends. This is the spirit of a leader. This is the spirit of the king. This is the spirit of a wise man, Raila. From the training, Raila taught us it is good to forgive your enemies until that time when they will know what you stand for, as they join you to enjoy the benefit. You remember we talked about Constitution 2010 and the story? Many people said no. Later, the country said yes. Never did they know what Raila stood for. Today, freedom of expression. Today, freedom of movement compared to before. Any voice about the government could be silenced, killed, tortured, and abducted. Today, Kenya is very free for movement, expression, business, and everything. Raila Amolo Odinga. From engineering to the streets. After the signing of 2010 Constitution, Kenya entered a new political era, one built on devolution, justice, and people's power. As Prime Minister, Raila Odinga played a key role in implementing the new law that decentralized the government services to counties. Raila focused on improving infrastructure, education, and public accountability, ensuring that devolution reached ordinary Kenyans. But in 2013, God put Raila into trial on the constitution that he brought to Kenyans, if he could lead by example along the constitution. And for the constitution to be tried, Raila had to show by example. In 2013, Kenya held its first general election under the new constitution. Raila contested for the presidency, facing Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. This is where Raila was put into trial. When the result favored Uhuru, Raila challenged the outcome in the Supreme Court, making it the first time in Kenyan's history that a president dispute was peacefully resolved through the courts. As the father of diplomacy, he used diplomacy to the courts. Though Raila lost, his decision to accept the verdict peacefully strengthens Kenya democracy. As everyone who comes with an idea must be put into test to see if their idea can work through them. Raila came with a constitution and he was put into test by God to see if the constitution he wanted through multipartyism, democracy, could work through him. Indeed, he followed the right procedure, and that's why he is called the father of democracy. In 2017, Raila ran for president again, this time under the NASA collusion. After 10 elections marred by irregularities, the Supreme Court annulled the result, another historical moment that reaffirmed the Kenyan judiciary independence. A repeat of election was held, but Raila boycotted it, citing unfair conditions. He never told his supporters to fight, to retaliate. He surrendered, meaning sometimes living is a win. The nation stood divided, but then came a surprise. On March 9th, 2018, Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta met on the steps of Harambee House and shook hands. An act now famously known as the handshake. It symbolized peace, unity, and reconciliation. Together, they launched the Building Bridges Initiative, also known as BBI, a national dialogue aimed at healing, fighting corruption, and strengthening inclusion. Though the initiative later faced legal challenges and was stopped by the court, it showed Raila's enduring commitment to unity and reform. Raila Odinga followed and respected the rule of law as the father of the Constitution. Beyond Kenya, Raila Odinga continued to serve Africa. In 2018, the African Union (AU) appointed him as the High Representative for the infrastructure development in Africa. His engineering background and position for development made him a perfect fit for this role, where he advocated for better transport network, energy access, and continental integration. Back home in 2022, Raila once again ran for presidency, this time supported by President Uhuru under the Azimio la Umoja coalition. It was one of the most peaceful campaigns in Kenyan's history. Although he lost narrowly to Dr. William Ruto, Raila accepted the result, though legal process, maintaining his call for firmness and unity and using justice to follow and strengthen the constitution. Today, Raila Odinga stands as one of Africa's longest-serving opposition leader, a man who has never stopped believing in democracy, justice, and equality. From the classrooms of Medberg to the corridors of power in Nairobi and the Africa Union, his life tells the story of endurance. To millions of Kenyans, he remains Baba, the father of reform, the voice of the people, and the living symbol of resilience. He continued to inspire a new generation to rise above fear, to speak truth to power, and to build the Kenya they dream of. To show the fight that Raila fought during independence time, during Moi's time, the Gen Zs are now out, have the right constitutionally to express themselves through demonstrations, through the new constitution that brought Kenyans together. That's why we call him the father of the nation. In August 2022, Raila Odinga ran for president for the fifth time under his Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. His running mate was Martha Karua, a strong woman, leader, and a lawyer. The election was one of the most competitive in Kenya's history. When the results came out, William Ruto was declared the winner. Raila challenged the result in the Supreme Court, but the court upheld Ruto's victory. Even after losing, Raila remained calm and called for peace across the country. He promised to keep fighting for justice and fairness in Kenya. After the election, Raila continued as the main voice of opposition. He criticized the government policies and defended the rights of the ordinary people. But this time, things were different. Some of his supporters started asking if he would ever run again. Despite the doubts, Raila played firm, saying his mission was not about power, but about building a better Kenya. In early 2024, Raila surprised many people when he announced he wanted to lead at the continental level. He declared his interest in becoming the chairperson of the African Union Commission. This shows that Raila was now thinking beyond Kenyan politics. He wanted to serve Africa as a whole. In February 2025, Raila contested as the Africa Union election. Although he didn't win, this campaign earned him respect across the continent. He became seen not just as a Kenyan politician, but as a statesman, a leader who fought for democracy in Africa. At the same time, Raila began working closely with the government of William Samoei Ruto on some national projects, showing a softer, more competitive side. In October 2025, Kenya and the whole world received a sad news. Raila Odinga passed away while receiving medical treatment in India. Raila was 80 years old. His death shocked the nation. Crowds gathered in Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, Kisii, Nyeri, and other counties to mourn him. Leaders from all over Africa send message of condolences, calling him a hero of democracy. Raila may never have become president, but he changed Kenya in many ways. He helped shape the 2010 Constitution, fought for multi-party democracy, and inspire generations to speak out for their rights. His life reminds us that true leadership is not just about winning power. It's about standing for justice even when you lose. Thank you for listening. This has been Raila Odinga, The Journey After 2022. Next week, we will explore the future of Kenya politics after Raila, who might rise to carry on his legacy and what it means for our country's democracy. Thank you for listening to the show. This podcast has been brought to you by Masco, and this is the Public Mic.
Welcome to the public mic. Let the truth ignite. From the streets to the speakers, we shine like so bright. Gather round, let's vibe. We connect.